So this, is kind of going along with everything else we've been talking about with Gen Z, why they're not dating as often as they used to. They're talking about how Gen Z women now are dating older men because the Gen Z men won't date. But then a lot of the women, I'm going to be honest, have these unrealistic expectations too, like
Oh,
the whole
yes.
height thing. I don't remember that being a thing when we
Well,
were.
not just that. They're like, they have to make so much money because I deserve it. Then you see these women, and it's like, what makes you think that you are, a trophy wife that somebody with a lot of money would want?
I know, right? I've seen some of these women who are like, he's got to be 6'4" and he's got to make 400 grand a year. I'm like, come on, bitch.
So, people keep asking, where are all the men? Where are all the men? Where are all the men? Why don't men approach women anymore? How come men don't want to work anymore? And all these questions about men. But, my question is, how come these people haven't figured it out yet? you know, it should be obvious by now. In 2025, it should be obvious, especially when the media, yes, the media, that CNN and Fox News are actually talking about this. It should be obvious as to why this is happening. Guys, it's your boy Andy Matrix. I'm back on Angry Guys YouTube channel. Yeah, I'm back in action. If you haven't heard of me, check out my YouTube channel. And Andy Matrix Gaming. I talk about anime. I talk about gaming content. I talk about Japanese culture and other social issues. Right? If you're into any of those things, make sure to click the link in the description and follow me there. I'm trying to reach 3,000 subscribers. Hope you guys will help me out with that. And guys, Angry Guy is uploading a lot of his videos that he's unable to upload on YouTube because YouTube has become the censor station. He's uploading these other more spicy videos over to Rumble. And when I say spicy, I'm not talking about adult content. Okay, so get that nasty stuff out of your mind. Okay, there's things that you cannot talk about YouTube that you are allowed to talk about on Rumble. So click the link in the description. Follow Angry on Rumble. And everybody, we have lost about more than 3 million jobs at this point. We're closely reaching 4 million jobs lost. The economy is collapsing. Well, the economy is already collapsing. It's just at a slow pace right now. But a lot of people are losing their jobs, and a lot of people that have lost their jobs are unable to find another job. So yeah, and then there's the whole AI thing, robots taking jobs, right? So, and of course, don't forget inflation. Don't forget a lot of all these economic problems. We are literally being pushed into, just being really independent. And with that independence, you're going to have to start your own business to be able to provide for yourself and your family. And this is why Angry Guy suggests the Content Creator Academy. Yeah, so Angry Guys Content Creator Academy, we show you how to start an online business using YouTube, creating digital products, starting your own website, all those things. And, creating an income for yourself and be more independent of the system. So click the link in the description. Check out Angry's Content Creator Academy. Now, let's get on with the show. So dudes. You see, Gen Z men are too scared to date. Well, actually, yeah. No, who am I kidding? Yes, we are. A lot of Gen Z and millennials, we are scared to date. This is the worst time for dating in history. The worst time for dating in freaking history, I tell you. Can you blame them? Our grandfathers were able to work one job and be able to find a female virgin and impregnate her with 10 kids. Oh, and that one job was enough for everyone at home to eat and pay the rent. Heck, my dad had 5 girlfriends, before he was even my age. Yeah. Yes, my dad. He looked like Freddie Mercury from Queens. Anyways. Now, trying to find a female virgin in this modern world is like finding a needle in a haystack. And trying to find a good woman that is feminine and wants to be a homemaker is like trying to find a unicorn in the desert. What are your chances of finding a unicorn in the desert? Ah, yeah, that's right. 0. There's no unicorns in the desert. Oh, I cracked myself up. And on top of that, Gen Z and millennials went through 2 economic recessions. So we're poor. Most of us are poor. You know what's funny? You know what I find absolutely hilarious about this whole thing is that, a lot of modern women, Gen Z women, millennial women, they don't want to date men that are at their level, right? So they're broke. So she is broke and she refuses to date broke men. I mean, imagine that. Imagine that you are broke, but you're refusing to date somebody that's at your level that you can build a life with. That's what's mind-boggling. You see, that's another thing. Our grandparents, they used to build a life together. And now, these modern women, they want a life package. They want it packaged and handed over to them. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but hey, what the heck do you guys think? Leave a comment leave a comment below. Okay? On top of that, the Me Too movement didn't help, and men are not afraid of rejection. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Trust me. Trust me. Men are not afraid of rejection. We can take rejection. Men face nothing but rejection. Our entire lives, we are rejected. We can take rejection. The rejection is not the problem. Okay, I've been rejected millions of times. The problem is humiliation. Right? Humiliation. Because now you go and approach somebody and they'll record you, right? They'll record you with their cell phone, put that video on TikTok, and make it look like you're a creep. You know how traumatizing that is? And nowadays, men are ashamed of approaching girls, while simultaneously, women are screaming and wondering why men don't approach them. Something tells me they're not very smart, because the equation, right, the mathematical equation here is actually very simple. 2 plus 2 does not equal 10. 2 plus 2 equals 4, ladies. Come on, it's not that hard. But anyways, we got Clownfish TV covering this topic. Clownfish TV, out of all people, covering this topic. This topic has become so popular, so huge, so important, that even Clownfish TV has to cover it, right? They're usually covering, talking about pop culture, anime, video games, all that stuff. But anyways, let's see what they got to say.
Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Gen Z men stopping dating because they're afraid they're going to get filmed, and that their mistakes are going to be broadcast on the internet by Gen Z women.
And I don't blame them for this, because I have seen many videos where they've done this. And I've seen videos where guys just made the girl get out of the car, and I was like, good. Serves them right. Good. When we grew up, we did a lot of stuff, but there isn't evidence of it. There's everything.
Yeah.
These kids today, I do feel bad, because there's cameras everywhere, and these poor kids, it is so hard. I can only imagine.
So this, is kind of going along with everything else we've been talking about with the Gen Z, why they're not dating as often as they used to. They're talking about how Gen Z women now are dating older men because the Gen Z men won't date. But then a lot of the women, I'm going to be honest, have these unrealistic expectations too, like the whole height thing. I don't remember that being a thing when we were...
not just that. They're like, they have to make so much money because I deserve it. Then you see these women, and it's like, what makes you think that you are, a trophy wife that somebody with a lot of money would want?
I know, right? I've seen some of these women who are like, he's got to be 6'4" and he's got to make $400,000 a year. I'm like, come on, bitch.
Okay, so I really like that angry guy picked this video for this topic, because Clownfish TV, Neon and Geeky Sparkles, right? The dude and the girl, they're married. They are married. They are OG married nerds, and they grew up in the 80s and 90s. Right? So they gotta be like in their 40s by now, because they even got kids. They gotta be like in their 40s. Right? So they're a good couple. They've been together for a long time. Right? I think, according to what they said, they've known each other since college. I think it was college, if I'm not mistaken. Right? I think it was college, since I'm not mistaken. But anyways, they've known each other for quite a long time, and they've been together for a long time. They're probably in their 40s, So, people like that have been together for a long time, they know how to be in a relationship. They know what it is to be a good couple. Right? And they look at this generation and they're like, they look at the generation of these girls and they're like, what do you mean you want a 6'4", 6'3" guy? What do you mean you want a somebody that makes $300,000 a year? Do you understand how difficult it is to make that amount of money? And do you understand that the people that make that amount of money is only like 1% of the population, maybe 5% of the population or less? So they understand. And somebody like Geeky, right? Somebody like Geeky Sparkles, she knows that like more than half of these girls, they don't know how to cook, clean, do all these things that a man, do all the things that a man would want a woman to do to be able to keep her. So they don't know how to like stay in a relationship. Great choice, Angry. Also, another thing that people are not talking about is that economic opportunity has been decreasing for Gen Z men. This is something that maybe Clownfish TV forgot to mention, Neon and Sparky and Geeky Sparkle. But yeah, we've lost millions of jobs over the past few years. Since 2024, there's been so many layoffs. We've reached 3 million, and we could reach 4 million pretty soon, especially with the government layoffs. It's a lot of layoffs, guys. This is, some serious stuff. And, it's going to be hard to find a job. So if you have a job, make sure that you keep it. Don't go looking for another one until you're sure that you can get it. And, but for those who have lost their jobs, you're going to be pushed into, going into side hustles and, try to start your own business because, if you can't find a job, what else are you supposed to do? And this is why Angry Guy created the Angry Content Creator Academy. That's going to teach you how to do just that, how to have an online business, how to grow your brand, your business with YouTube, with social media, how to create a digital product that people can consume and pay you for it and generate an income and all that great stuff. This is going to be a great way for you to to have an online business. And an online business is also great because if you're trying to leave the country, right? If you're trying to get out of America or whatever Western country and go to a much nicer country like Mexico or Thailand, where your dollar stretches much further, then having an online business is the perfect choice. So click the link in the description below and check out Angry Guy's Content Creator Academy. And if you sign up, you will get a free guide once you sign up. And yeah, click the link in the description, check out the Academy, and go ahead and get started on building your future. Now, let's get back to the video.
All right, so this is coming from Rolling Stone. Some Gen Z men are so scared of getting filmed, they've stopped dating. People are using others' dating fails to gain clout, and it's having a chilling effect on young men's love lives.
Well, I believe it.
Yeah, so this is coming from a guy, I guess Eli Thompson, who's talking about Snapchat, and everybody's going through Snapchat. They said that a friend of mine mentioned a girl he knew from one of our sister schools. He wanted to text her, but his thumb froze. Send it, bro, one friend said, but screw it up, and it'll be screenshotted. He didn't send the text.
But as I said, they'll screenshot it and they'll post it and they'll mock people. And it's like there's with no thought about how it's going to impact the other person at all.
This is, yeah, I can't imagine this because we did grow up in a different time, right? This person said, at the high school I graduated from in June, phones were out during private and public moments. It could be in class when someone fumbled a presentation or the cafeteria when someone tripped. Most clips stayed private. Snapchat group chat shared among a few dozen kids, but they could spread further and cut deeper. Last year, a friend from another school filmed in his attempt to ask a girl out in the hallway. Even though it was awkward, he didn't do anything crazy in the video, and it was mostly just a rejection. But someone recorded him, posted it on a Snapchat story. The video had the caption, "Bro thought he had a chance," and over 200 people saw it by the time he got to launch.
See, this is not okay. And my next thing is, if you're one of these people like taking these videos because you think it's going to get you a high five, you're the problem. Because this is how people. Why is suicide rates up? This kind of shit. This kind of shit is why. I mean, if it's not something you'd want someone to do to you, then don't do it to somebody else. And quite frankly, if you're one of these people that are out there doing this, and you're one of these women doing this, then you know what? You're going to get what you deserve. If it comes for you, then I don't feel bad.
No, I don't feel bad at all.
You set the rules.
They have trends such as fail compilations, cringe challenges, posts showing awkward mistakes or uncomfortable situations meant to make others laugh, encourage people to document embarrassing moments. Instagram accounts post people's dating profiles, text conversations, and awkward pickup lines. Sometimes they're anonymous, but not always. Before long, strangers are watching, liking, and commenting on a moment that was meant to be private.
It's not right.
Yeah. So they think that this is keeping Gen Z men from asking girls out because it's going to be making the rounds at school or whatever.
A lot of people may not take it seriously, but yeah, this is part of the reason why Gen Z men don't approach girls is because look, I can understand maybe like Gen X and most of millennials, right? Because millennials, we didn't have cell phones until like, or a lot of us didn't have like a smartphone or apps until like the early 2010s, right? But what you got to understand is that Gen Z, like a lot of them, they grew up with the internet in the 2000s. A lot of these kids, they grew up with the internet, and you know, they got their first cell phone when they were like in their teenage years. So they know a lot about social media. They live on social media. They understand social media. And they know, look, I better be careful approaching a girl because everybody has a cell phone. If she's not filming me, somebody else can film me, right? And also because of the American harassment laws, if somebody films you approaching them and making them feel like uncomfortable, they can take that to the police and you can get into some kind of trouble. Not always, but their laws are there. The laws are there. There's harassment laws. So you could be approaching a girl all nice and dandy and she films you and you're like, oh man, wait a minute. I wasn't expecting this. I just wanted to say hi and all that. And then just like that, a lot of dudes get discouraged from approaching. This is serious. This is serious. And Gen Z understand is because they grew up in the digital age.
If you're a girl that can't get a date and the guy you like won't ask you out, blame these other bitches for causing the problem.
The threat of public shaming makes normal interactions risky and at times can lessen the chance young men will pursue relationships or go out on dates.
It's not right because like when we were kids, like we did a lot of dumb stuff. But there's photos sometimes, but there wasn't cameras everywhere. No one had phones. They weren't videotaped constantly. I mean, there was video footage if you did something stupid that you deliberately set up, but most people it wasn't there for everybody, the world to see. You don't have that. It's not spread all over the internet like it is now. And there's so many kids that are caught up in this and they're afraid to do anything. I think it's part of the reason people don't talk to each other.
I think so.
They're afraid
Yeah.
to do anything. It's part of the reason why suicide rates are up because if they do one thing that's wrong, they will follow them their entire life.
You see, Neon and Geeky, they know what they're talking about. They're OGs, right? They're pretty old and they've been through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and they know how technology affects people and how it affects people's decision making. Okay, the same way that politics affects people's decision making, so does technology. And back then, one of the reasons why there weren't a lot of shit talkers is because if you say something that will piss people off, you get punched in the face. Now you say something, you're behind your keyboard, hiding behind a username on the internet, right? On Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. You could say some bullshit and get away with it because nobody's gonna punch you in the face like like back then in the 90s. And I can tell you, I've said some shit to people when I was in high school, and they would immediately come up to me like, "Yo, what you say? What you say, bro?" And back then, if you would say something to like a girl that she didn't like, she would get one of her tall ass male friends to come and beat your ass. By the way, no, that didn't happen to me. That didn't happen to me, guys, but I'm just saying that back then you couldn't hide. You insult somebody, you couldn't hide. Now you're hiding. Everybody hides behind the computer. Everybody feels safe. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
It's really weird because our son was telling us at school that, in the dorms, they actually have their Instagram count and their Snapchat count.
They were
on their damn doors, and there were parties that you could only get invited to if you had X number of followers. I mean, it's fucking surreal. I mean, it really is very weird.
But now with AI, how do you know it's even a real thing that happened? It could be that you generated somebody you don't like, and you generated an embarrassing video about that person, and it's not even real. We're going into territory there.
Yeah, this is just. I mean, I don't know, man. This definitely changes things. I mean, I wasn't much of a dater in high school.
Nor was I.
But You know, if I was going to ask somebody out, I don't think I wouldn't ask in the hallway anyway, because there are other people that could, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, part of me is like, well, if you're doing it at school, I'm like, no, you get her phone number, but yeah, they can screenshot everything. I mean, these are things that I never really stopped to think about it, being older and married, that are definitely, I think, contributing to Gen Z men feeling so lost, because it's like your natural instinct is to go ask a girl out and date and whatever, and you can't even relax enough to ask somebody out because, you know, it could be all over the internet.
Well, I'm just sitting here thinking of all the things I did in high school that were embarrassing, and if they were floating around the internet, I'd be like, oh my God, you know, like I was checking out some guy at the store and I ran into a pole. And I was in the hall between classes, and I went to put something in my locker, and I had pads fly all over the hall, and the senior football players helped pick them up. I was a freshman. That was, yeah. Anyway.
Pad fail.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
I mean, I was, you know, and then this doesn't account for people like, they were going to shame people by their appearance. You see that a lot. They shame people by their appearance. People got in trouble, and they're not doing it so much now, but they were in the locker rooms at the gym and stuff, taking pictures of people like without clothes on, or, you know, they were in there trying to change their life, and they're taking pictures and making fun of them on the internet.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do anything now for fear someone's going to, you know, take your picture and make fun of you.
And this is why I think everybody's so weird.
I would say it must be hard being so perfect all the fucking time.
Yeah, I know, right? Filters. Lots of filters. That's what I use. Lots of filters.
Yeah, a lot of these people that are out there doing that, they put a lot of filters on their face.
Yeah, yeah, they do. It's like, yeah, you look like plastic. That's not you. So yeah, he said this creates an unchecked culture of humiliation, makes the social media world for Gen Z a place where accountability is absent and cruelty is rewarded.
Yes, it's true, and it's wrong, and I'm anti-bullying like 100%, and this just makes my blood boil. It pisses me off so bad.
I like what they said right there at the end, that cruelty is rewarded. And it is, if you think about it. Cruelty is rewarded because, you know, you're very cruel to somebody, like taking a video of them approaching you, you know, just trying to introduce themselves to you. And then you go upload it on the internet, get hundreds of thousands, even millions of views. You basically, and if you uploaded the video to YouTube or TikTok, probably got like, you know, millions and millions of views, right? Depending on what kind of account you have, you probably make money off of that. So you just got rewarded for humiliating somebody. And this is the fear, okay? This is the fear that a lot of Gen Z men have, is just they don't want to go through that. They don't want somebody to profit off of their humiliation, you know? And it's not just on the internet. In the real world, you like, now there's the whole, you know, the whole political thing. Like, if you approach a girl and if you don't do it right, or I don't know, or if you're not as attractive, if you're not the attractive guy that that girls want to approach you, they'll call you an incel. They'll call you, I don't know. It's like it's been normalized. Like, humiliating men has been normalized so much that you wonder why guys are just not leaving. You wonder why the passport bros exist, you know? You wonder why many guys leave and go to Colombia, to Mexico, to Asia, to Thailand and the Philippines to find a wife, you know? And so if a lot of American women don't get their shit straight, then, you know, a lot of these dudes, they're just gonna go over to Russia, where there's like millions of single women waiting for somebody to wipe them up. So I don't know. American girls think that they're the hot shit. They're the best thing on the planet. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. But yeah, the Clownfish TV video was like 20 minutes. I wanted to cut it short because I just, you know, I wasn't gonna cover the entire video, as it is just way too long. But seriously, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about what's happening about, you know, Gen Z men not dating and pulling and just, you know, withdrawing, just staying at home, saving their money, you know, learning to cook by themselves, you know, hanging out on their own, playing video games, and yeah, like what do you guys think? So whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, it's your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed.